So good afternoon, everyone. Last Tuesday, we talked about the concept of IBC, and we discussed about what is five Beijing the consideration for your code, and we also talk about the how you can determine the construction type and occupancy, and also from this occupancy and construction type, how you can determine the maximum allowable area, height, and the stories. So basically from this understanding, we move to discuss about the code today. So let's review the example one more time. So the example 1, the client hire you to design a non-sprinkler two-dwelling unit residence building built out of wood structure. So they do not want to use the fire rating element of any kind. So how many story can you build? How much area can you build? So your understanding, you can see these two tables to know about the maximum allowable area and maximum allowable height. So table 506.2, you can just find out the maximum allowable area, and you can see the table 504.4, you can find maximum allowable stories. Okay, so first you have to know about some condition from the client. It said two dwelling unit and non-sprinkler, and is built out of wood structure. So everyone just know about what is the two dwelling unit occupancy, what is about wood structure construction type. So from this, you just kind of simply understanding and to find out the occupancy type from the IBC, and also you can find out the wood structure construction type from the IBC. So it is R2 and 5B construction, and it is non-sprinkler. So from the 504, you can see the R2 occupancy, and you have a 5B. So simply, you can comparing through non-sprinkler, and you find that the 2-hour protection. I mean, you can build up to the 2 stories for your project. And also we talk about what is NS, what is about S13R, what is about S. You can see the footnote, the bottom of this table. NS is the non-sprinkler building, S is sprinkler building, S13R is kind of types of the sprinkler, but this is mostly using for the small residential unit. Okay, so basically from the matrix, you can see the R2 and type 5B and non-sprinkler building, you can just find out 2 stories you can build for the project. Okay, and also say the table 506.2, so you did the same matrix, you have a 5B and R2 non-sprinkler building. Simply comparing these two, you can find out the 7,000 square feet. But you remember, 7,000 square feet is per floor. It's not the total area. So means from the previous table and this table, you know about you can build up to 2 story, and each floor can be maximum 7,000 square feet. So basically from this table, you understanding you can build 2 story and 7,000 per story. It means total area can be 14,000 square feet. Okay? So from the previous, the client request, so you can find out, then you can answer to your client. So your project can be built up to 2 stories, and your building can build up to 7,000 square feet per story. So it means total story can be 14,000 square feet and under. So this is your answer from the client request, right? However, your client think, or maybe your client want to build the bigger building to making the project profitable. They need at least 3 stories and 20,000 square feet total, right? So they change their mind. They want to make a bigger building. So what are some options that you could offer to your could offer to your client to reach their new proposal goal. Okay, so you find out the two different options today. The option one, what do you think? How you can increase the building stories and the floor area from your original number? But occupancy has to remain the same because they just wanna do the residence, but they still wanna make it bigger and the higher. So first option, change construction type. So it means now it's type 5B, but when you change the construction from the type 5B to the type A, type 4, type 3, type 2, and type 1, you totally change the construction and structure method. You can build higher and you can build bigger, right? This is a simple change. So now you can see type 5B, you can build up to 2 story and you can build up to 7,000 per stories. It means you can build to 14,000. But when you change the construction type from the type 5B to the type 5A, as you can see from this table, from the 7,000 to the 12,000, when you simply change the construction type from the type 5B to the type 5A, and you can build up to 2 story to the 3 story when you change it from type 5B to the type 5A. So this one is the request, right? This is meeting their requirement. So you can answer to the client, when you build up to the 3 story and 20,000 square feet from the original calculation, you can change construction type. This is option A answer. However, you also know about the change the construction type. When you change the construction type, it means you totally change the overall structure system. It means it mostly occurs lots of money. It increased the overall construction budget because it changed the overall structure system. Okay, so that's why, what is about the second option if it has too much money to change the construction type? Second option, you might consider automatic sprinkler system. So it is shown on the IBC chapter 5. If you have automatic sprinkler system, you can increase height and story. You can increase allowable building area. So let's see this table together. First one, the table, not table, this is a chapter 504.3. So automatic sprinkler system increased, and here automatic sprinkler system increased both. So first one is more relating to the height and story. So I just kind of highlighting here. If you have a sprinkler system for your project, your building height is increased by 20 feet and the maximum number of story is increased by 1. Okay, so it means if you are building allowed 50 feet, but if you have your sprinkler system, you can simply add in the 20 feet more. You can build up to 70 feet. Okay, also you can increase the one more story. If your building allowed 2 story originally, but if you have sprinkler system, you can increase one more story for the project. It means you can build up to 3 story. Okay, so this is understanding about this sprinkler system increased. Also, when you're having the sprinkler system in your building, you can increase the building area. It indicates increased by additional 200%. You have to know about additional here. Okay, for the building with more than 1 story. Okay, and additional 300% for the building with no more than 1 story above grade plane. It means if your building is a single story building, you can increase the 300% from the original number. But if you have more than 2 story, you can increase additional 200% from the original area. Okay, so we look at more the example. Also, when you have the frontage increased, okay, So when you increase the frontage, which is the front area, you can also increase the building area. It's not effect to your building height and building stories, but you can increase the building area when you provide the wider frontage and the bigger frontage, because it is giving the chance to more fire truck can access to your building. So from this region, usually you can getting the more incentive to increase the building area. So frontage increase, we also talk about how you can calculating the building increased area basically from the frontage increased. So we talked this issue for the rest of the class. Okay? So it is very important concept here to understanding how you can increase the building area and how you increase the building the height and stories. Let's see this one. So when you have in the sprinkler building and also increase the building footprint, the frontage, so how you can consider to increase the area and height. So when you increase the building frontage, it's a more building frontage from the original the height and area. So when you have the more building frontage, you can increase the area. Okay, but when you have automatic sprinkler system, you can increase the area and height and story altogether. So means even when you just increase the building frontage, it is not effect to the building height and building story. It's only effect to the building increased. To increase your building height, to increase the building area, you might consider either the increasing the building frontage or adding the automatic sprinkler system, or you can increase the building frontage and automatic sprinkler system together. So this is kind of more to consideration to increase the building area and the height. So look at this example. Your client need to build the bigger building to make the project profitable. They need at least 3 stories and 20,000 square feet. From the previous the calculation without the sprinkler, you can see 2-story and you can build up to 7,000 per floor. So it means you can build up to 14,000, right? But they just need a 3-story and 20,000 square foot. So simply, when you're having the sprinkler building, you can increase the 1-story. So means if you have a sprinkler building, this is non-sprinkler building system, 2 stories available without the sprinkler system. But when you have in a sprinkler system, you can increase by the 1, simply plus 1. It means you can build up to 3 stories when you have a sprinkler system. Okay, so this is a calculation here. So please understanding about that this number here is non-sprinkler system, okay? But they need 3 stories, so means you already know about when you have a sprinkler system, you can increase the 1 story. So means 2 story plus 1 the extra space for the floor for the project. It means you can build 3 stories building. So means this is more about the incentive floor when you're having the sprinkler system. Okay, and next one you can see the floor area. So you can see the tab, the IBC chapter 5, it mentioned increased by additional 200% for the more than 1 stories building, which is more than 2 stories building. Single story, it is 300%. So means non-sprinkler building you can build up to 7,000, right? But you have to know about very carefully about this additional word. It's not simply times 2. It's not this way. Okay? It means additional means 7,000 is the original the area you found from the table is non-sprinkler building. But when you have in a sprinkler building, it mentioned you can build additional 200%. It means additional 7,000 multiply 200%, which is a 2, right? So it means from this calculation, you can get in the value basically from increase the sprinkler building. Okay, so here 7,000, which is the original the area found from the table, which is non-sprinkler building system. But when you're having the sprinkler system, you can increase additional 200% from here, okay, which is additional means you have to be plus, and then now you can build up to 21,000 square feet per floor. Okay, so means when you're sprinkler building, and then you can build up to 3-story, right? So means 21,000 is per floor, and then 3 stories here with the sprinkler system. So means the new number is you can build up to 63,000 square feet total when you're having the sprinkler system, right? So means the original one you can only build up to 14,000, which is a 2-story, and build up to 7,000 per floor. But comparing to this, when you're having the sprinkler system, you have a lot of incentive to increase the building area. Okay. So now you can see the understanding about this concept. But this calculation you only need the before using the IBC 2015. So 2012 you have to be calculating this number. However, from the IBC 2015 you don't need to get this calculation. You simply can find out that this number from the 504.4 and 506.2. Okay, so means you can just kind of simply find out the number here. So you have R2, and then you have non-sprinkler system, and then sprinkler system, and then S13R sprinkler system. So from this one, so you can find out the number from here pretty easily. Okay, so without the calculation. So first, from here, so you have to know about the number. So means S13R, S1, and SM. S1 is for the single story, the sprinkler system. SM is multiple floors, which is multi-stories, the sprinkler system. But this is more than 2-story, have to be applied SM here. So means R2 and SM, and then you have a type 5B. So you can simply get in the 21,000. So means without this calculation, from the IBC, the 2015, you can simply get in this number from the actual table. Okay, so same as the actual the allowable, the maximum stories. So this one you can say the R2, and you having the sprinkler system here, and then you have a type 5B, you can build up to 3 stories. So means without this calculation, you can find out the 3 stories. This is actually same as the previous concept, but from the 2015, you don't need any calculation. You can simply find out the number from the table, and you can just kind of using this number for your calculation. Okay. So now the example 2. Your client for the urban target store found that they would like to build type 2B building, which type 2B is mostly the commercial purpose project, but since the number of floors will be reduced to 2, they would like to build 38,000 square feet per floor. Okay, so we can just kind of understanding about urban target, which is the mercantile, which is commercial M. We already know about the construction type 2B, and then so we can probably find out they want to build up to 38,000. Non-sprinkler system M, mercantile, and type 2B. From this type table, you find it. So non-sprinkler building, you can only build up to 12,500 per floor, but they want to make 38,000 square feet per floor. Doesn't make it, right? So S1 is usually only for the single story, but now you want to build 2-story. So it means you have to be using the SM here. Okay, simply you can just follow the SM. Now you can build up to 37,500 square feet per floor. But client want to make 38,000 square feet per floor. So means, so from this table, even when you're having the sprinkler system, it doesn't work because client want to make in the more than 38,000 square feet. So that's why we have to find out the method to meeting the client request. So now we talk about the different option. So add a sprinkler system is not meeting with the client request. So we have to think about the other option. You remember, increase the building frontage. You can increase the building area. Increasing building frontage is not affect the increasing building story and the building height. However, it affects to the actually increase in the building area. So let's look at the example here. So here, so you can consider to increase the frontage without the sprinkler system. Okay, I think it is pretty complicated process and calculation. I speak very slowly and I explaining about this whole process very slowly today. When you follow the step by step, I think you are pretty easy to catch up to some concept. But if you still having the confuse and question, just we can talk more during the lab time. Okay, please let me know if you have any question about this calculation. This calculation is important because this calculation relating to the lab assignment, and this calculation relating to the final exam questions. Okay, please follow the step by step. I think you probably easy to catch up to this concept. So let's talk about this increased building frontage. Okay, so when you know about this increased building frontage, you know about your project location here. Here, the light gray zone here. This is the building footprint. Okay, so your building standing under this location, but here this is actually the property line. Okay, it means this darker gray zone is totally open. Okay, and also you have to know about where is your public way. So public way is here and public way is here. So means public way is just simply following this part. Okay, so this is actually the project condition to calculate the building frontage. Okay, so also same table you simply use because still wanna making the target, which is M, but they still wanna making the type 2B, which is a type 2B. Okay, but now we start from the non-sprinkler system, which is starting from the NS here. Okay, so now we can just kind of follow the formula and we can just calculating the number. So to know about the increased area, which is AA, which is the increased area, is allowable area per story. And AT, which is you can find that AT number basically from the table. So which is you can probably here NS, this is AT number here. Okay, 12,500 per floor. So this is AT number equaled tabulated area factor. Okay, so this is from the table. And NS, you have to find the non-sprinkler building. You can simply find out from the previous table, which is a non-sprinkler system here. And then when you just consider about the non-sprinkler system, you simply using the same number, which is a 12,500. Okay, and then you have to be times IF. IF is increased for the frontage. Okay, so to know about the IF value, you have to be calculating from this formula here. IF. The F means here. Where's F? The building perimeter that front on the public way. Okay, it has to having a width of 20 feet or more. Okay, so only consider considered as the open space 20 feet or more. And P is the perimeter, which is perimeter of the entire building, and minus 0.25 and times W. What is about the W value? W value, width of a public way or open space, feet in accordance section 506.3.2. So you just know about what is W value. It's kind of have to be calculating from this formula. So means to know about the increased area from the increased frontage, you have to be follow these three steps. Step 1, step 2, and step 3. Okay. To know about the W value, you have to know about the length of portion of exterior perimeter wall, and W value, which is the width, is more than 20 feet. You only count more than 20 feet of public way or open space. You have to know about the public way or open space associated with that portion of exterior perimeter wall. And F means the building perimeter that front on the public way. Okay, so simply just kind of following this all sentence is very difficult to understand, but when you actually following my calculation, you are much better to understanding about the concept. Okay, let's see the next one. So to know about the AA, which is the increase the area value, you start from the W value here. Okay, to know about the W value, you need to be follow the process. So let's start from here. W value, let's to get this one. So W value, to get the W value, you have to be know about the F and L and W. To know about the L first, L means length of a portion of exterior perimeter wall. This means it can be this one, it can be this wall, it can be this wall, and it can be this wall. Okay, but you see the W value here. W value means width have to be more than 20 feet of public way or open space associated with a portion of exterior perimeter wall. Okay, so you can see this table. You have to find out the more than 20 feet width. So means here, sorry, which one? This is actually this side. It's actually 0 feet. Just kind of your building footprint just locating on the property line. So that's why it doesn't count it. And next one. So next part here, I can sorry, this kind of pen here. So next line here. This is still 15 feet. But this is still less than 20 feet. But this only count more than 20 feet. So that's why this frontage doesn't count. Okay? So it only count the more than 20 feet. So now about this line. This line, you can see frontage is 20 feet here. Okay? It means it's more than 20 feet. So that's why you have to be including this number. And then for this side, from the open space and public space, it has the 50 feet distance. That's why you have to be including this number. Okay, now you can simply following the more than 20 feet width. So you can have to be calculating this area and this area. Okay, because it is the more than 20 feet here and more than 20 feet here. So simply you can calculating 250 times 20, which is this area, and then 135, which is here, times 50, this is this area. Okay, and they have to be plus each other. And then we didn't using this area and this area. Why? Because the width is less than 20 feet. And then you have to know about the F value here. F value is said building perimeter that front on the public way having a width of 20 feet or more. Okay, so it means public way here and public way here, and then it has the more than 20 feet here. It's less than 20 feet. It doesn't work. So that's why you only count more than 20 feet. So this frontage is more than 20 feet because it's 50. So it means we have to be adding the 135. So this line here. So because it's set over the building perimeter. And then this area is also more than 20 feet. So it means it is kind of works in this criteria. That's why you have to be adding this number to this one. So basically from this calculation, now you can calculating the W value, which is 23.5. Okay. So from the calculation, so we getting the W value here. So 23.5, right? So now you have to use this 23.5 to apply here to calculating IF value. Okay. So let's do the next step. Then let's calculate this IF value, which is IF is increased for the frontage value. Okay. You already know about the W value, which is 23.5. You can simply put these stuffs here, and then now you need to know about the F value and the P value. F value, which is the building perimeter that front on a public way having the width of 20 feet or more. Okay. And then P is the perimeter of the entire building. So it is pretty similar as the previous calculation. The P value is easy, perimeter. So means perimeter of the your building footprint is. So means you have to be calculating here, and you have to be calculating here, and you have to be adding this one, and you have to be adding this one to know about your building perimeters. So means to calculate the P value, so P value is here 135, which is a 135 and 135 and 250 and another 250. So this one can be the building perimeter. Okay, but now we have to be a little bit tricky for the F value. We said building perimeter that front on a public way having width of 20 feet or more. Okay, you have to be meaning more than 20 feet. So from this calculation, you understanding here. So this one is more than 20 feet, and this one is more than 20 feet, but this is less than 20 feet, and then this is actually 0, right? So means you only count the width more than 20 feet. So means you can select this one, this building frontage, and this building frontage, because it require more than 20 feet. So you can simply adapt here. So means you can just adding the 135 feet, this value, and you just kind of 250 feet. So this value here. Okay. So when you just simply follow this calculation, F value, which is the building perimeter that front on the public way having width of 20 feet or more. So means you're only calculating this one and this one. Okay, but P value, the perimeter of the entire building, which is simply you can add all building perimeter, this line, this line, this line, and this line. Okay, and then times 23.5, which is the W value we already calculate from the previous page, and then the 30 values here, you can simply adding it here. Now basically from this calculation, you can simply get in the IF value, which is 0.1958. This is a number you can find out. Okay, so now you know about the IF value. You have to be adapt this value to here to know about the increase the area from the frontage increased. So last step you can find out here AA value. Okay, so you already know about IF value from the previous calculation, which is the 0.1958. So you can simply apply this value here. But from here, you have to using this IBC table. So IBC table mentioned AT is kind of tabulating the area, and NS, which is the area from the non-sprinkler building. In this case, we're starting from the without the sprinkler system. Okay, this is a kind of a key point to understand. So without the sprinkler system, what is about the AT value, which is the 12,500 value, right? Because of the non-sprinkler system. So this one have to be applied the AT value because of what it said about without the sprinkler system. But also find out the non-sprinkler system, the area in the non-sprinkler system. You simply find out this value here, same value, because simply adding this value here. So basically from this calculation, it has the 12,500 plus 1200 times 0.1958, right? You have to be calculating this first, and then from this one, you find out AA value, which is the increased area value from the increased frontage. But now from the calculation, you can get 14,947.5 square feet with a non-sprinkler system. But once again, the client asks you to build up to 38,000 square feet per floor. But it said about only 14,947.5 square feet per floor. So it means it doesn't work. It doesn't mean the client request. How we can do? So now you have to be consider the increased frontage with sprinkler system, right? So you can say here the increased frontage with sprinkler system. Okay, so we just gonna find that SM because about the building 2 or more story above ground plane with the sprinkler system. We have to be find that SM from the here. To getting the W value, to getting the IF value from the W, and then so just simply using this IF value to this calculation. It is all same process from the previous, but now you having the new value here because now you use the sprinkler system. The previous calculation you using the non-sprinkler, the value area in the non-sprinkler the system. However, now you are sprinkler system means you just need to be using the different value here, which is a 37,500 square feet. So you can simply using this value to 80, okay, and then the NS, which is a non-sprinkler building system, and then you find the area from the non-sprinkler system, which is a 12,500. You have to be using this value. So you just kind of simply find out what is difference between the previous one and this one. This one is no sprinkler building. That's why you can simply using the AT value is from the non-sprinkler value here. However, now with the sprinkler system, it means you have to be using the new value, which is increased value, which is 37,500 for the AT, and NS is still same because it's still non-sprinkler system value. But IF value still same as the previous calculation. So means IF here 0.1958 and UAT value is 37,500, which is the from the SM, which is the sprinkler system in the multi-story building, and non-sprinkler system here, which is the 12,500 here. And then you can calculating the 0.1958 from the previous calculation to know about the IF value. This IF value is calculating from the W. Okay, so now when you calculate this new value with the sprinkler system and the increasing the frontage, so now you can get a new value, which is 39,947.5 square feet. It is much big. It's bigger than 38,000, which is a client request. So that's why it is good to using for the calculation, and then you ask to your client to meaning that this requirement you have to be install sprinkler system, and you have to be increased building frontage. Okay, so this is kind of more about the discussion, very initial discussion to know about your building footprint, what kind of a sprinkler system you're gonna use, and then how you can use in the building code. It seems lots of calculation and lots of different confused process. However, when you just gonna follow the step by step, especially when you do the lab assignment, and then when you just prepare the final exam and the module quiz, you much better understanding about this concept. Okay. So Tuesday and Thursday, what we talk about the IBC, we talk about the concept, IBC concept, and what is about the 5 basic consideration for the IBC, and we also discuss about occupancy and the construction type, and using the construction type occupancy, how you can find out the exterior fire minimum rating hours from the neighbor building, right? And also you can find out the maximum allowable floor area, height, and story from the building occupancy and construction type. And today, so using this information, we just talk about how you can increase your building area, how you increase the building height. So first option, you can change it to the construction type. But when you change the construction type, it means it changes the overall structure system. It of course lots of money. So it means you have to be concerned about the overall budget. But next option is increasing the sprinkler system. We talk about how you can find out the new value and new increased area from the sprinkler installation. Next one, we talk about increased frontage. The following the 3 different calculation to know about the W value, to know about the IF value, and from the IF value, we just getting the new increased area. So also talk about increased frontage without the sprinkler system, but if the increased frontage without the sprinkler system doesn't meet the client request, we have to be consider the U requirement, which is increased frontage with sprinkler system. So we just kind of follow the 4 different steps to answer from the client request here to design the urban target store. But think about that this one is very important, the fundamental, the knowledge to discuss with your client, because it provides mostly about the business kind of a strategy for the client. Architect can provide this strategy to the client. Okay, so we start the lab today, and I'm also in the studio, which is KP. If you have any question about the lecture, please, you can meet the face-to-face. Also, I'm available the Zoom. So please talk to any time with me about the lecture content. Okay, thank you guys.